and buy some of this stuff because there's really good deals happening. Because not only, I mean, because these candles, I've bought these Brooklyn candles in stores a bunch of times, and they're never on sale. So here you're getting 15% off, 32.20, 32.30 is a really good deal for these candles. So let's see. Which one is this? This one, it's hard to see. It doesn't like show it here, but I think in the photo, this is the Brooklyn one it's showing. Okay, so let's start with the Brooklyn one. So there's two types of candles. I'll just like from Brooklyn, or I think there might be three types, but I've got two here. So it's like, honestly, it's most of the candles that they sell. It's almost all of them. So there's the kind that come in this box, which is the, excuse me, the like, I think it's the Escapist collection. And it comes sort of like in like a really nice sort of giftable package. And when it ships to you, it comes in like a bigger, like another brown box outside of this. You know, you could gift wrap that too. But it's sort of just like one of these things that slides apart, feels very premium, and then the candle is in there. These have 2 wicks, and then the other one, oh, it's hard to get into these without ripping the package. One second, let me get it. And then this one, you know how sometimes like these things and you can't get your finger in here and you have to lift it up? It's just like a regular package, but you don't want to rip the box, but you want to get in there to smell it. You can just like wedge something in there and then like, I don't know, that's how I open it without having, otherwise my fat fingers just end up ripping, you know, you just end up ripping this whole tab off. And if you're trying to give it as a gift or something, you don't want to do that, but you might want to get in there and be like, how does it smell before I gift it? Okay, so this is the other kind. So there's the 2 types. There's this kind, which is a single wick, which comes in like a really nice matte black. I think this is glass, but it's a nice matte black glass. And then there's this kind, which is a clear glass with, but also, you know, white wax. I mean, clear glass with the same sort of white wax, but it's 2 wicks. And don't forget to trim your wicks. So anyway, there's 4 fragrances of this: Brooklyn, Santorini, Maui, and Santa Fe. So we'll go through each of those. And then there's 3 fragrances of this style. There's Hinoki, Neroli, and Santal. And honestly, they're like all really good, so you can't totally go wrong. But I'm gonna kind of like sort of like break them down because, you know, when you're buying candles, I don't know, at least for me, you know, like they're not super cheap, so I don't want to, maybe I don't want to get one of everything. And people have different like preferences. Some people hate sweet fragrances, some people hate creamy, or they like creamy, or they like really woodsy, or they want something cleaner and more feminine. So like there's a really wide, there's like a whole like spectrum here. So I'll go through and sort of like describe as best as I can what they smell like and the different sort of vibe for each one, because they are like each quite distinct. Okay, so the Brooklyn one is the most sort of like perfumey one, and I like this one a lot. It smells just sort of like a rich house. It just smells sort of like an expensive, rich home that's like kind of clean, but I can tell you the actual notes that are in there. So when it comes to fragrance, there's a top note, a middle note, and a base note. And the top notes are the stuff that like hit you first. They're like quick and more and fleeting. And then the middle notes are like what you notice next. And then the base notes are really like long lasting, lingering. So like in perfume and cologne, the base notes are the things that like, even if you shower, you know, you might still smell that base note on you the next day. So they're like the more like deep notes. So the top notes are orange blossom, neroli, and the middle is leather and cassis. Cassis is like a berry. I use cassis liqueur a lot. And then the base notes are patchouli and wild sage. So you know how some fragrances can smell like either like kind of like powdery, perfumey, and then others can smell very like wet. This is a little bit on the drier side. It's sort of like a little more powdery. And then what's Rinna? What? Is there a Rinna in here, Encore? Who are you asking that to? Oh, hi. Hi, Rinna. Hi. Yeah, feel free to like say hi and also like let me know who you are if you're here because I'm curious. But okay, so yeah, it's like you definitely get all the notes that I just described: orange blossom, neroli, leather, cassis, patchouli, wild sage. But I would sort of classify this as like little like kind of like perfume-ish and a little powdery, not so wet. but definitely smells like very premium and smells very expensive, and smells like this is like just great for like entertaining and having people over for like just like cocktails. It feels very sophisticated. It's not. It's definitely not season specific like some of these other ones I'll get into. They're definitely a little bit more season specific. One is a bit more like summery and okay, Hanako, yes, I know who you are. Some are more summery, some are more like definitely more holiday. And this is great for the fall, but honestly, this is great for any time. Okay, and then I should also just point out, so all of these candles are made in New York by a Brooklyn candle studio. So I love that, like I lived in New York for a long time, and I feel like it's nice supporting stuff that's actually like made here. Okay, so that's the Brooklyn. Let me see what else. Okay, so this one is the